Into the good in the hood. My name is Justin. I will be your host. I am here just to tell you a little bit about the show. The show is myself and my co host Al. We sit down and we talk about topics of today, things that are going on, and we do it in the most positive way that we can. Try to feed some information, try to bring up some topics that maybe you're talking about in your living room, and bring up topics that maybe you're not talking about in your living room that we are in ours, and we just want to make sure that we're getting this information out to you the best that we can. We're based in West Akron. A lot of our stories are coming from West Akron, and a lot of the people that we're going to be talking to are coming from West Akron because we think it's important to uplift our own community. So that's what we're here trying to do. We're trying to tell you about the good in the hood. Now, we got a chance to interview a very, very special friend of mine, a man that I have known for about 3 years now, who is this young man is involved in all kinds of things in the community. He's involved in politics, and he's here to just tell you why it's important to get your vote out. That's what we want to get out today is why you need to go vote. So though we don't have the full episode ready, I did feel it was important to release this interview because we are on Friday, October 30th right now. The election, of course, is Tuesday, November 3rd, and we wanted to make sure that this was out beforehand. So we came to the decision we were going to release this interview. As I said before, is with Vincent Peterson II. He is a Villanova grad where he won a national championship in football. He is a former prison guard at the Northeast Ohio Alternative Prison. He is a former parole officer for the state of Ohio. He is a motivational interviewing instructor, and he's currently a constituent liaison for Congressman Tim Ryan. I love that um, you're such a young person relatively, and you're so involved in all these things. Like you've done quite a bit in what seems to be a short amount of time after college. So kudos to you. Kudos to you for that. So I think I probably already have gathered the answer for this, but how did you get to your current position? Like, what made you go that route?
I decided to really start researching politics and policy. So I started taking poli sci classes, and I just started developing a love for it. So after that, I graduated, ended up in the criminal justice field, and you do get to help a lot of people, but at the same time, it is very repetitive.
Right.
It's very limited on the help you can actually do. So I started getting more involved with like community boards and community aspects, and trying to be more involved in like how do I really help people. And I ended up having a meeting with Congressman Tim Ryan. I attended with my father, and I'm just picking his brain, man. I'm just asking him question after question, and okay, why don't we do this, or why haven't we tried this as a community, or have we tried this and it didn't work? And I didn't think anything of it. He gave me some advice. We left. See you later. 2 weeks later, my dad calls me and says, "Hey, Tim Ryan's looking for your number." I'm like, "For what?" And he goes, "I think he wants to offer you a job." And I'm like, "Get out of here." And
Wow.
it turns around. He offered me a job, and I was fortunate. If I wanted to go back to my old position as a parole officer, I had a year, and I could go back same pay. Nothing changed. But I fell in love with the job almost instantly, man. Everything from being able to help people on the constituent side. I'm also a field rep, so I go to a lot of meetings in place of the congressman.
Okay.
So I got to attend a lot of meetings, community boards, and really like putting my mind to use on what we can do actually to help the community as a whole. How do we understand that poverty breeds criminal behavior. People, you're if you don't have, you're always going to try to find a way to get. And how do we address that? How do we address the education system? How do we address gentrifying of areas? How do we address how redlining affected certain communities? So it's honestly, getting that opportunity, I would say, just really, really was a blessing, and has allowed me to really grow in a lot of aspects as far as benefiting, everyday people and everyday communities. And the best part is when you work in the district like I do, um, you really like, yeah, people politicize everything. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, like I've never answered a call and been like, "Hey man, you a Republican? Because I can't help you out if you are." Like it's very like it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, black, white, alien for all it. If you need help, my instructions from the congressman is to help anybody and everybody possible.
Yeah,
So it's been a blessing, man. I got to tell you, it really has been.
that's really awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
really
man. So
cool.
I applaud that,
Um,
man.
just to let you know, he's not on camera, and I think you can hear him.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear
Alanis
him. I
is
can hear him.
here. Uh, I haven't quite figured out the nuances of putting two people on a Zoom call from one computer. Don't think it's even possible. So, but I got him on sound. So he's been listening to our conversation. I think he's got a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think in the near future you might consider maybe putting your toe maybe in the political arena as a I don't know, maybe a councilman yourself, or maybe.
Um, that's a great question. I definitely think that there is a. Well, I'll just be honest with you. I mean, this is my boy's interview, so I'll be 100% honest with you.
All right, all right,
Um,
all right.
yeah, I definitely have considered doing that, and really right now it's just praying and kind of seeing when that time will align. I think part of the hardest part, and for anybody who was an athlete, whether it's a broke down DB like myself or a broke down receiver like Justin, I think any athlete, we have this thing where we feel we can always just push ourselves and will ourselves to get to where we want to get to, right? And I think sometimes it's important to remember all the work that you had to do to get there. And I think right now I'm still in the putting in work phase,
Okay.
and we'll see what happens. But I definitely I have considered it. I've thought about it, and I'm currently praying about it. I'm not gonna lie, this type of political environment we're in now, I
Hmm.
do think we need more people who are less motivated to be super big. Like regardless, I work for a Democrat, but I don't want to be the guy that's just Democrat, 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 Democrat. I
Right.
want to be the guy that, listen, our community is made up of different people. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody's going to feel the same. How do I help each and every individual live the best possible life that they can and be provided for? So I think we need more of that, and we need more young people. I mean, we can all be honest here. Sometimes we look at these politicians, and it's like, I mean, I get it, man. I appreciate your service, but I mean, you was a politician when my grandparents were kids. I mean,
Right.
Jesus and the disciples, I think, voted for you, bro. Like, you know, we we, we gotta have some turnover. So I think it's important, but
But
I just think it's more important to find out what God says and to wait, until you're ready. And so
Right.
hopefully when I know and my wife knows.
so what is it? 35? Is that how old you have to be to run for president? Let's be honest. You're just waiting for that
It's
time, right?
something like that. I actually try not to. I don't know why I do this. I try not to focus on president. I have this joke that I'm running for president in 2044. So
2044.
24.
2044, hey man, it might be a thing.
Hey,
I
listen.
feel like it's possible right now. So
Yeah. No.
um,
I know. For me, I wouldn't want that job. So more
no,
power
you
to
know
you.
what? I want like my goal is to hire the best imaginable cabinet. And every time something goes wrong, be like, hey man, blame it on your boy. Okay, I'm just out here trying to help the people. You know what I mean?
I think we have a president that does that already. So
So
um
yeah, we got something like that.
so I really appreciate having you on, man, and I wanted to have you on to talk about the importance of voting from a nonpartisan
Yeah,
uh way of going. We were talking about voting from local local to state to federal,
yeah.
and how it's important. What are what are some of the things that you look for uh, when you're looking to, cast your ballot? I guess. What are
Well,
some of the things that you look for in a candidate?
I think the importance of voting, and you kind of even started on the path I'm going to go down, is knowing, okay, what level am I voting at, and how does that level affect my life?
Hmm.
I know when I personally think your local elections, which get the lowest turnout of
Mm-hmm.
any style of elections, are the most important to your everyday life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I am constantly looking at, when I see candidates, um, I'm looking at, okay, we got local judges running. Where does this judge come from? What did he study? Has he done anything? Was he a prosecutor before? What type of prosecutor was he? Does he believe in rehabilitation? Does he believe in drug courts? Does he believe in the things that will help actually make people better and not just lock them up, lock them up, lock them up? We lived through that in the 90s, and it has done us no good.
Mm.
So, I want to study things like that. If you're a county commissioner, what are your plans for the roads? What are your plans for how do we rebuild communities, dilapidated houses? What are your plans for, I live in Warren, Ohio. We have a southwest side that's a food desert. What are your plans to help get a grocery store on the southwest side? What are your plans to help with transportation? Mayor, what are you doing for transportation? Are you making sure buses are running properly to get people from A to B? Do they have a chance to go to the doctors, go to stores? So on a local level, I'm looking at that. What is our, people don't even read what their levies are for. Half the time your levies don't even increase your taxes. If you read them, we just vote no because we instantly go, man, I ain't paying $7 more a month. But, we don't even read our levies. And some of those levies, I'm like, dude, you sending your kid to a school, like, my old high school, because of they're in the community, there are some extremely rich people, which don't allow you to get certain things from the state to rebuild high schools. A lot of these high schools that got rebuilt was because of where they are as far as the poverty line goes. So my old high school doesn't have that benefit. They're in school without AC. Like, as an athlete, I just think about on game day, man, I ain't trying to sweat all day.
Right.
And then, what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to hydrate, make sure, and I just think we don't even want to read what the levy would benefit. Does it say, hey, we're going to close down this school, but with closing down this school, we're going to take all the money allocated there and we're going to rebuild this school? Like, those are the things we got to look for at that local level. At the state level, okay, I need to know where my state money is going. What communities are we benefiting? Because what happens at the state level a lot, the same places get money. There's so many grants and so many times that the state level is giving out money and it goes to like Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Toledo. And places like that. And it comes from the fact that we don't really pay attention and hold people accountable for, like, all right, Trumbull County, Summit County, we need, Stark County. We need money here too. We know we're not as big. We're not the big attractive thing, but how do I make sure that money gets funded towards these places? How do I make sure that Trumbull County gets enough money so that it can start redoing roads? Or, like, people get mad that Akron has so many roads under construction right now, but the smart thing to do is to try to get as much of that done as possible, because we're in an ever-growing community. We're in an ever-growing economy. And we understand that even things like how nice your roads are matter to keep people, right? And people want to live in communities they feel are nice. Do you think everybody, it's cool to go out to LA or Atlanta, and, it's all gravy and, like, it's like, oh man, all this money and all this cool stuff going on. But dude, they are constantly redoing stuff all the time because they constantly want to remain on top. And their traffic is god awful, right? But they constantly want to make sure everything is up to date. So I want my state to have a big state mentality. In Ohio, sometimes we teeter on that line. So I'm going to challenge my state reps and state senators and my governor to make sure that we're doing those things. And if we have a rainy day fund and it starts pouring outside like 2020 has been doing, I think we should use our rainy day fund. So,
Yeah, right.
and at the federal level, man, it really comes down to that's, I think, a little bit harder to understand as far as politics go, because I look more into like, all right, what are you going to do when we talk about foreign policies? How are we going to tax other countries? What are we going to do about keeping manufacturers in house? Which Northeast Ohio has lost God knows how many manufacturers to foreign countries.
Yeah.
We lost GM in Lordstown, which has been a huge economic hit in Trumbull County.
Yeah.
And even Summit County. I mean, I think everybody in Northeast Ohio kind of felt vibrations from that. But what are we going to do? How are we going to tax people? Imports, exports. What are your foreign policies, and in what direction do you really want to lead the country? Because at the end of the day, you are more a figurehead as president than you are the almighty. We look at president like he's the end all, the be all. Well,
Right.
honestly, you're going to get more done through Congress and Senate than you are with your president. Okay,
Right.
so I want to make sure my congressmen are on the same page that I'm on. I want to make sure my senators are on that page, and I just want to look around and say, okay, if I wanted federal funding for something, what would that be? And some people may say, I want more federal funding for education. Right now, I'm in a big thing of I'm looking for infrastructure. I want infrastructure. How do we rebuild not just roads but buildings, communities? Why are there places in 2020 that don't have internet? Why is broadband, not being laid down? And again, I can go into how that translates into, if we do a big broadband package that translates into jobs for the next, 6 to 7 years. And, we get into that, but it's really just understanding and taking the time. And this is what people don't want to do. Take the time to see who's running. Look at who's running in the primary. We always want to think about the main election. Who's running in the primary? You may have a guy in the primary who doesn't have a big fundraising base, but he relates to you. He's just a hardworking guy, wants to make a change, and you never researched him, so you don't vote for him. You vote for the name you've seen 10 times. You don't know who that guy even is.
Right.
You just say, oh man, I've seen O'Brien 15 times. So I'm just, hey man, O'Brien's got my vote,
And I think that it's funny that you say that too, because you hear a lot of times, well, what if I don't like either candidate? Well, you had a chance a long time ago to get somebody else in there. Now you're
Yeah.
stuck with, the two worst people. Go ahead, Al.
You answered. I had a question for you, but you answered it. You spot on. You answered the question, man, and I couldn't have waited for a better response. So with that being said, I had to come up with another question, and I think it's quite important for maybe some of our viewers or listeners. Um, what advice would you give young people that may be studying law, or some type of political studies? What kind of advice would you give them to motivate them to continue on the path that they're on to try and make this country a better place?
The first thing I would say is, as a young adult, don't base your life off social media. Social
Wow.
media is such a powerful tool, and could be, it can benefit kids. I was just talking with a former NFL player. He's actually my cousin, Boom Heron from Ohio State, and we were talking about just how social media can really help kids, can really benefit kids, or can really, really hurt them. Right? If you base your life off of likes and comments and all that, as many of us as adults have done, let alone kids, but you're never going to get enough. There's never going to be enough. And going into the political arena, or just any arena where you are a public servant, you cannot do it for likes. You cannot do it for thank yous or that a boys or pats on the back. You have to do it because that's what you're driven to do, right? And that's what you believe in doing is best. So my first thing would be is you can have social media, but like what I've really tried to do now is focus more on the family and positivity. I've done the Facebook arguments. I've done I got to respond to this person. It doesn't serve a purpose. Facebook is meant to be a silo for you to just hear your own thoughts over and over again. And when someone opposes those thoughts, it's like, oh my, I can't believe this person
Right.
thinks differently. Well, I mean, the person grew up differently than you. They
Right.
have a different life experience than you. People should be allowed to think differently. So my first part would be, hey, be careful with social media. Don't base your life around it, and don't base your aspirations and dreams around it. And the other thing I would say, stop being so concerned with winning and losing. We as a society, and I am competitive at everything. I'm sure if me and Justin played Uno right now, we
You
would
would
be
lose,
talking
by
trash.
the
You know what I'm
way.
saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Draw twos. I am competitive at everything I do. You know, if me and my dad are walking down the street, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to the house before you do. You know, we're just like that. But as a
You're gonna beat a
society,
56-year-old man to the house. That's not saying
listen,
much.
he could be 100. He'd be in a wheelchair. Hey, bro,
Even if
I
you
beat
pushing
you.
him, you turning him around so you get to the door
Bro,
first. Right?
listen, I'm gonna stop him right there. And my dad's the type of dude, he'll do everything he can to wheel himself up there.
Right.
But the thing is, man, as a society, we've become so divided off of who won, who lost, that if we didn't win, we now don't even want to be a part of anything else. We're like, okay, we lost the game of basketball. I'm gonna take my ball and go home. I don't even want to deal with you guys. I don't wish you the best. I'm like, slow down now.
Right.
As a society, if you know, our current administration, like, love him, hate him, we gotta wish, you know, and hope that he does the best he possibly can, because that affects our country, right? We got to get back to a place where it's not, hey, you won or you lost. It's okay, you know, my candidate didn't win, or maybe I ran and I didn't win, but what is the best case scenario from where we're at now? How do we get the best results? And if you're going to be in public service, there's a bunch of wins and losses constantly. People are going to love you one day and they're going to hate you the next. They're going to love decisions you made, you know, on Wednesday, and Thursday they're going to say you are the worst person on the face of the planet. What you have to realize is, you know, you didn't win something, you didn't lose something. You're just doing your job. And as long as you are doing what you believe is right, as long as you're doing what you can stand on your own 2 feet and you ain't got to have people praise you for, then stick with it, you know, and focus on that, man. But just avoid getting into all the, like, you know, the, hey, we didn't get what we wanted, so all right, I quit, or I don't want to do this, or the world has now come crashing down. Because I say this to people and I always get the same reaction. I go, you know, we're so focused on winning and losing, and in this election and da 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 da. I get it. You know, I have my candidate I want to win, but at the end of the day, you know, the current administration's been in for about 4 years now. Did you stop getting up to go to work? Did you stop being able to put food on the table? Did your kids not talk? Like, what in your life really, really changed? Or were you able to still live life every day?
Yeah.
Maybe there were some things you disagreed with, but you were able to still live. Nobody lost. Like, we didn't lose life. We still have the opportunity to go outside every day and make whatever it is we want to happen. Right. We have that chance. Now, sometimes, you know, there are better things, and sometimes there are things where you're like, but that's life, man. No matter who's in office, whether it's Obama, you know, whoever it is, unless Jesus comes down and runs, I don't think we'll ever have a perfect administration where everybody's going to be happy. And I'm sure if Jesus ran, there'd still be people unhappy. So.
Oh yeah, no, there would definitely be. But look, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thoughts and advice, man. Love
Appreciate
picking
you
your
guys.
brain about this stuff. Wish you and your wife and your little girl all the best, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Question. Yeah.
I see you get an opportunity to kind of. I know you're super, super busy right now, so thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Oh, bro, you
really
know, anytime, man, anytime. Next time when the Cowboys are good, let me on when we talk sports, and let me come back for that one. You know, so it'd be like next year.
We'll save that for Sunday where we can repent before we walk out of the church. So. All right, man. I appreciate it. Love you, brother. You
love you too, man. Appreciate you guys.
Oh,
yep,
sure,
y'all take
man.
care.
Love you, man. Be easy. Thank you for what you do, man.
Love y'all too, man. Y'all keep it up. Y'all be blessed.
All right, thanks, bro.
All right, man.
Hey guys, Justin back here with you. really great interview, some great topics, some wonderful information from Vincent. I'm so thankful that he was able to take time out of his busy schedule right now to come and to talk to you guys, to talk to us and talk to you guys. So we loved having him on. Listen, if you have any comments or questions, please just leave them down below. Make sure to like and subscribe, to click the notifications bell so that you will know when we release the very first episode and then every episode after that that comes along. So if you like this interview, please tune into the episode to kind of hear us talk through some of these things, man, and really just enjoy the topic of conversation of why it's important to know what is going on every level of government. It's not going to be that heavy all the time. We're not always talking about government, but we felt like this was important enough to take time to talk about. It is important to vote. This is a very pivotal election, and your vote does matter. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Every vote counts, right? It's a cliche, but it is the truth. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Again, like, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of that information is on the first and last slide of every video, so make sure you take the time to take it down. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you guys. God bless.